looking at May, June 2020, paper one. So our first topic here is sentence completion, where our instructions say to each sentence has either one or two words missing. Choose from the four options the word or pair of words which best completes the meaning of the sentence. Mark your choice on the answer sheet. So we go into the questions here, so you could pause, get your answers, and then we correct. All right, so number one, it says, despite his short temper, his willingness to give of his wealth to help others to succeed led people to call him something. So you need one of these words to fill in here. So the words that we need, the word that we need to put in, right, needs to give the description of the type of person we are talking about. So you're saying here, despite his short temper, even though he's short tempered, right? This is the quality we're looking at. His willingness to give of his wealth to help others to succeed led people to call him. So people are going to call him a particular thing based on this description we have here. So the word we put in needs to match that description. So definitely not like hasty, foolish, or old-fashioned. That wouldn't describe someone who's willing to give up their wealth, right? No. So our answer here will be C, which is benevolent, which means like kindness. So it's like someone who's kind. All right. So number one, we have C. Going down to number two, the journalists were impressed by the something of the statesman whose speeches had a profound something on all who heard them. Our answer here will be option A. The journalists were impressed by the eloquence of the statesman, because eloquence has to do in terms of like your speech, right? So that links there to what we are talking about, had a profound effect on all who heard them. So good. Going down here to number three. The new owners will be asked to start the plan as soon as possible and will be expected to something the policy of cost reduction approved by the board. So you have these new owners who will be asked to start the plan and they will be expected to something the policy. So they will not be expected to state the policy or develop the policy or frustrate the policy, definitely not. The answer here will be option D. Will be expected to implement the policy of cost reduction approved by the board. All right. Going up to number four, it says, although it is possible to move the house, the cost of moving it makes the project. See, a key thing here, although it is possible, right? So although it's a good thing here to move the house, the cost of moving it makes the product. You have B, impractical. All right. And number five, to conceal his true activities, the spy quickly something a plausible excuse for his presence there. So the spy quickly, you would have option D, fabricated a plausible excuse for his presence there. So you fabricate, we falsify, we make up something. That's the meaning that we want there. All right, so our next items fall under vocabulary. So based on the instructions, we need to choose a word or phrase that is most nearly opposite in meaning to the underlined word. So you pause, go through, get your answers, and then we correct. All right, so number six, she seems to be sensitive to the feelings of others. So we're looking at sensitive to. So if you're sensitive to something, right, it has some sort of effect on you there. So you want the opposite of that, right? She seems to be unaffected by. So good. Number seven, many teenagers and even some parents do not agree with the level of restrictiveness in today's society. So you have restrictiveness that comes from the word like restrictions. So when you have restrictions, you have like certain limitations. So you want the opposite of that, that will give you option A, which is permissiveness, right? So instead of being restricted, you have like permission there, you'll be permitted. So option A is our answer. Going down to number 8, we have he was eager to share the news with his friends. So if you're eager to do something, you are enthusiastic to do it. So you want the opposite of that. If we aren't eager, we will be option B, which is reluctant. Number 9, the president of the Students' Association never mentioned the treasurer's integrity. So integrity is the quality of like being honest. So the opposite of that will give us option D, which is dishonesty. And last one for this vocabulary, number 10, while the employers approved of his work habits, they objected to his radical views, right? So radical views is very progressive. So you want the opposite of that, is giving you like far-reaching. So you want the opposite, which would be option D, which is conventional. All right, so our next group of items fall under construction shift. So instructions say, Revise each of the following sentences according to the direction that followed it. Do not change the meaning of the original sentence. Look at the options A to D for the word or phrase that best suits the revised sentence and mark your choice on the answer sheet. So you pause, go through, get your answers. Are we correct? All right, so number 11, we have people from crowded nations cannot get over the accessibility of Canada's natural environment in all its magnificence. So instructions say how we need to reconstruct this sentence here. It now needs to begin, right, with this phrase here, it is impossible for. So our sentence is no longer going to start with people from crowded nations. So since we are now starting here, it is impossible for, based on the sentence, we know the options here can't come right after what we have. So what we need to do is right after we say it is impossible for, we're going to continue with how the sentence originally started. So how the flow is going to go now, we are going to say it is impossible for people from crowded nations cannot get over the accessibility. So once you reach here, you would hear something, wrong in a sentence there where it's not really making sense. So you can see here in this part of the sentence, this is where one of your options have to go in. Because since we are now starting the sentence with it is impossible for, the impossible is giving you that meaning of the cannot, right? So because of that, you will need the cannot here in the sentence. So what your answer here will be option B. Our sentence will now read, it is impossible for people from crowded nations to get over. So it is impossible for people from crowded nations to get over the accessibility of Canada's natural environment. So that would reconstruct our sentence and give us the same meaning of what the original was saying. All right. Going down to number 12, we have on learning of the impending hurricane, many persons rushed to the supermarket. So you need to now begin our new sentence with many persons rushed. So many persons rushed where? To the supermarket. So that's where the sentence will continue. Many persons rushed to the supermarket, right? And then the original sentence here says, on learning of the impending hurricane. So this one of these options needs to give us that same meaning of unlearning of the impending hurricane. That's when many persons rushed. And what will give you that is option C. Many persons rushed to the supermarket when they learned of the impending hurricane. That will give you your same meaning here. All right. Number 13. More is experienced in one day of the life of a learned man than an ignorant man experiences in his whole lifetime. So you need to begin our new sentence with a learned man. So look to see, okay, what did they say about a learned man? They said that more is experienced in one day of the life of a learned man. So based on the options we have here, what will give us that same meaning is option A, right? Where it says that a learned man experiences more in one day, which is what we said here. More is experienced in one day of the life of a learned man. So he experiences more. So A is our answer. Nice. Going up to number 14. It says, during my time at school, I was involved in extracurricular activities. Need to now begin our sentence with, I was involved in. So what were you involved in? I was involved in extracurricular activities, right? What's the time frame? They said during my time at school. The key thing here is during your time, right? So that won't give you on staying or for my stay or when staying, right? No, what will give you that during meaning is option B, which is while. So I was involved in extracurricular activities while I was at school, all right? And last one for this type here, we have number 15. It's going to be all right. Mom assured me. Begin the sentence with, Mom assured me that. So instead of direct speech here, we change it to reported speech. So yeah, Mom assured me that, and your answer here will be A. It was going to be all right. I have your past tense, and you have your past tense here, how you're reporting. So that will give you your answer. All right, so our next set of items fall under spelling. So you're looking for if the sentence has a misspelled word or not. So you pause, get your answers, and then we correct. All right, so number 16, she is one of the thousands of babies who are diagnosed with that disease. So thousands, that's spelled correctly, diagnosed, that's spelled correctly, and disease, that's also spelled correctly. So D is our answer. There's no error in this sentence. Number 17, the secretary had made up a calendar of events, but there was not enough stationery to give each member a copy. So our option B here would be our misspelled word. So Kalinda, there's only one L in Kalinda. So how it was supposed to be spelled is Calendar. So you just need to take out one of those L's there. All right. Going down to number 18. When the museum purchases paintings, the artist receive many compliments. All right. Now looking at all of these words, you may think that there's no misspelled word here. However, this compliments, this spelling of it, the meaning of this word is not matching what's taking place in our sentence. This compliments here that has an E in it, right? This means that things go well together. And when you look at the sentence, it's not saying that when the museum purchases paintings, the artist receive many things going well together. No, right? We're trying to say he received many praises, many persons telling him something nice. And that compliments here, this spelling is not matching that meaning. How we spell that compliment with the meaning of to praise someone or to say something nice, instead of an E, we need an I. It's supposed to be Compliments. All right? So that's number 18. Going down now to number 19, we have after embarrassing his colleague, his conscience bothered him and he eventually apologized. So embarrassing, this here is spelled correctly. Colleague, that's how we spell it. And conscience, that's also how we spell it with our con and then the word science there. So everything here is spelled correctly. So D is our answer. There's no error. All right. And last spelling question, number 20. It is my privilege to give you some advice concerning proper nutrition. So a misspelled word here would be option B, right? Again, just like when we had number 18, looking at this, right, you would think, all right, no word here is misspelled because that's how we spell each of these words. But this meaning of advice here is not matching the meaning that we want in the sentence. Now, when you use advice, it must be used as a verb, right? You must be giving this recommendation or opinion. And that's not what we're doing here. If you look at the sentence, it says, it is my privilege to give you some advice. It want to tell it's my privilege to give you this particular thing, this opinion, right? The action here is by where we have the word give, but we're not talking about the action here. We're talking about the thing. And the word that we needed here is not advice, but advice. So it needed to be ADVICE. All right, because advice is when you're talking about the thing, right? The opinion. That's like using it as a noun. Whereas advice is when it must be used as a verb and action. We're actually giving that opinion, that recommendation. But once you're just talking about it as a thing there, you need advice. So this is what made it a misspelled word. All right, so next we have equivalent sentences. We're going to select a sentence that's giving the same meaning as the original. So you pause, get your answers, and then we go through. All right, so 21. So engrossed was he in his task that he did not hear his sister enter the room. Right, so you're so absorbed, so engaged in what he was doing that he did not hear his sister enter the room. We need a sentence that's giving us that same meaning. And that option here would be option D, where it says he was so preoccupied, which is giving you the engrossed meaning. But what he was doing, right, in his task, that he was unaware of his sister's entry, which is the same as he did not hear his sister enter the room. All right. Number 22, it says, the news shocked me so much that I almost forgot what to say. So you have this news, it shocked you so much that you almost forgot what to say. So our answer here will be option B. I can hardly remember my message, right? Which is giving you that I almost forgot what to say after such shocking news, which is the news that shocked you, right? So 22, we have B. Number 23, recent floods have made the roads impassable. So we have these recent floods. What did it do? It made the road impassable. All right. So our answer here will give you option C. The roads cannot be used as a result of the floods. So you have these roads, it's impassable, meaning it cannot be used. Why? Because of the recent floods, which is as a result of the floods. Right? So nice. Number 24, going up. So it says, the Europeans who were not well off were those who came to the West Indies in search of wealth. So you have these Europeans, they were not well off, right? And they were the ones who came to the West Indies in search of wealth. So to give us the same meaning here would be option D. Europeans who came to the West Indies, so Europeans, that's what they came to, so far so good, to seek their fortunes, which is the same as in search of wealth, were the ones who were not wealthy, which is the same as they were not well off. All right. And last one for number 25, we have water pollution is a common problem because people thoughtlessly dump their garbage in water courses. All right. So for 25, our answer here will be C. Water pollution takes place because people negligently dump their garbage in water courses. This is giving us the same meaning here. So next is our poetry question. So pause, read, get your answers, and then we correct. All right, so number 26, the speaker in the poem is, so who's the speaker here? Based on what are they saying, who is saying these things? Is it a child playing, an adult dreaming, a child remembering, or an adult remembering? So it's definitely not a child based on the information we have, right? As well as what's being said, we know somebody's not dreaming, but what they're definitely doing is remembering, and it is an adult. So option D will be our answer. Going now to number 27, how does the speaker feel about flowers in lines 11 to 14? So we go to 11 to 14, that will be these last four lines in the poem. So it says, came stark glory like lightning in the dark, while perfume and dark petals thundered slowly. I learned no names, but hue, shape, and scent marked my mind, even now with symbols holy, right? So how the speaker feel about flowers? So, you know, it's definitely a positive feeling compared to how the first stanza was, right? So, you know, we don't have any type of negative meanings that would be our options, like indifferent, pessimistic, unappreciative, definitely not. So, you know, for a fact, A would be our answer. The feeling of awe. So I was looking at it in filled with wonder or amazement. That's like what we're getting from here, right? Number 28, the mood of stanza 1 of the poem is. So this is stanza 1 here. So when you read it, you'll get that mood of option A, which is bleak, right? Very gloomy, pessimistic, not full of hope. That's what you're getting from there. So A will be your answer. And number 29, what is the speaker's attitude to the environment in lines 2 to 8? So lines 2 to 8, right, will be from here to the end of the first stanza, right? So key thing is that actually what the speaker's attitude to the environment, right? So let's read and see what's being said. So from line 2. From beginning, my world has been a place of potholed streets where thick, sluggish gutters race in slow time, away from the garbage heaps and sewers, past blanched old houses around the cowards. Stagnant earth, they scarce green things grew to chase, the dull gray squalor of sick dust, no trace of plants save few sparse weeds, just these, no flowers, right? So our attitude is definitely will be a bitter, right? Because we get that negative meaning coming out of it. So not acceptance, contentment, or contemplative. It definitely has an attitude of bitterness towards the environment. Number 30, what device is used in line 11 to describe the park? So you're talking about literary devices, line 11, right? So what is used to describe the park? So we have came stark glory like lightning in the dark, right? So that would definitely be option A. You have simile, comparing two things with the use of like, right? So came stark glory, comparing it to the lightning in the dark. So good. Number 31, the use of star glory, line 11, best suggests that the flowers, so that's the same line we were at, right? So what does this suggest about the flowers? So came star glory like lightning in the dark, while perfume and dark petals thundered slowly, right? So we have 1, stimulated the speaker with their beauty. 2, had a religious significance for the speaker. 3, amazed the speaker with the difference they made. So for 31, you have option B, is just 1 and 3. Right? Stimulated the speaker and amazed the speaker with the difference they made. So definitely not had a religious significance, right? We didn't get that there from that. So that's why this 2 here was not in it. All right. Number 32, the device used in line 12 compares the beauty of flowers to. So you go to line 12 there. What is the beauty of the flowers being compared to? While perfume and dark petals thundered slowly. So it's being compared to here, the thunder. So option C will be your answer. And last one for the poem, number 33. Which of the following best describes the theme of the poem? Nature is a vital part of human life. The impact of nature is positive and deep. The names of plants are unimportant, or nature, specifically parks, should be introduced in all slums. So the theme of the poem here that best describes it, right, will be option B, which is the impact of nature is positive and deep, right? Stanza to give you that there where you had that change from how they feel of it there and how the nature giving that positive and deep. All right. All right, so this is our next passage. So you pause, read, get your answers, and then we correct. All right, so number 34, which word best describes the homeowner's attitude towards the hillside near his home, right? So which one of these words would best describe his attitude would be option D, which is possessive, right? When you look at the passage where it says like, there was a house on the hillside, his hill, right? But his hillside, you getting that attitude there of how possessive he is of the hillside there. So that's his attitude towards it, all right? Number 35, the word struck him, which is in line 2, suggests that to the homeowner, the sudden appearance of the squatter's house stirred disgust at the nature of the home, awoke interest in how quickly it was built, aroused shock at the unexpected neighbor, or stimulated pain because of the loss of privacy and control. So you go to see where it was said. So you're looking at line 2, all right? So it says, let's read from the first line because it's from the first sentence. So Marcus wheeled himself out to his accustomed place at the table on the terrace, and the sight struck him immediately. How could it not? It was an abomination, a desecration, a hearsay, a sight unbelievable. So the word struck him, what does that suggest? If you have something like strikes you, right, that definitely would not stir disgust or awoke interest. What you'll definitely have is option C. It aroused shock at the unexpected neighbor, because that's exactly what happened. Yeah? Number 36, the phrase sat on, which is in line 9, tells us the house is set into the hillside, comfortably situated, precariously located, or placed directly on the hill. So you go to line 9, that will be right above line 10 here. So let's start from here. But his hillside wasn't a squatter settlement, and no other house marred his view. His house sat on a slight rise above the village in the valley, and from there he had an uninterrupted view of the mountains on all sides. So by saying it sat on, right, we will get option B, it's comfortably situated. All right, so good. Number 37, which of the following did the homeowner believe gave him the right to claim the hill? Its proximity to his home, it was not easily accessible, the length of time he lived there, or no one had moved in for some time. So option C here will give you your answer. The length of time he lived there. You'll see that, get that from like at the end of the passage where it says like on his hill. It wasn't really his hill, but who else was there to claim it? Who else had gazed at it 365 mornings every year for the past 12 years, right? So that's what the homeowner believed gave him the right to claim the hill, the length of time he lived there. So very nice. Number 38, the word littered in line 7 suggests that the homeowner believes the squatter settlements are an eyesore, unique to his area, a necessary part of life, a legitimate solution to the housing problem. So littered, which is in line 7, right? So you can start from line 6 to read. From the distance, it was no more than a doll's house, or what a child might draw, a wooden hut, similar to those which sprang up daily in the squatter settlements, which everywhere littered the hillsides, ringing the city, visible evidence of society out of control, right? So the word litter there, it suggests that the homeowner believes the squatter settlements are an eyesore. So you definitely know he did not have any type of positive feelings towards it. So it's definitely not unique, right? Definitely not a necessary part or a legitimate solution. So we know A is our answer. Number 39, which of the following may be one of the homeowner's fear on seeing the house on the hillside? So you have A, the still cotton tree would become gigantic. B, proper houses would be built on the hillside. C, the hillside would become a squatter settlement. Or D, littering would become a problem on the hillside, right? So you know for a fact, our answer here will be option C, which is fears, which would definitely be the hillside will become a squatter settlement, because that's what he definitely disliked and did not want. Number 40, the repetition of his hill, lines 3 and line 20, by the narrator. So what does this repetition do? Displays the depth of his disgust, shows how persistent his shock was, presents the homeowner's stubbornness, or emphasizes the passion behind his attitude. So our answer here will be D. It emphasizes the passion behind his attitude. So when you go to line 3, right? There was a house on the hillside. His hill, the one which overlooked the village and which his terrace faced. And then we go to line 20. And now immediately behind the tree, as if sheltering in his arms, someone had built a house on his hill, right? It wasn't really his hill, but who else was there to claim it? So what that does, it emphasizes the passion behind his attitude. Because remember, if you look at question 34, what was his attitude? Possessive, right? So that's why what is showing is emphasizing how possessive he is towards the hill. All right. So nice. And last one, number 41, which words best sum up the homeowner's view of the squatter settlements? A, sprung up daily. B, society out of control. C, marred his view. Or D, houses, proper ones. So 41 here, answer will be option B, society out of control. All right. All right, so next passage. So you pause to read and gather your answers, and then we correct. All right, so number 42. According to paragraph 1, lines 1 to 5, which of the following results from conflict between family members? Lines 1 to 5, that's paragraph 1. So once we read, you see your answer will be A, which is disorder in societies. You'll get that here coming down to the last line in the paragraph as well. This internal matter is not without its external implications, for only where there are orderly and peaceful families can there be an orderly and peaceful society. All right, so which are the following results from conflict between family members? Disorder in societies. Number 43, according to the passage, all of the following threaten the existence of the family except, right? So which one of these does not threaten the existence based on what is said in the passage there? The answer will be option B. Conflicts between employers and working parents that there was not in the passage. So we had like the high divorce rate in Western society. So we had here in the last paragraph, we talked about the high incidence of divorce and marital separation. So that was there. Problems family members experience in getting along. So we had those there, tensions of work are carried over into tensions in mother-child relationships, right? So you have problems in family, as well as in like the first paragraph, you'll see that too. And we also had the increase in the number of mothers of school-age children. You see that here in the second paragraph, increase in the number of mothers, right? So those three were there. So B is the exception. So nice. Number 44, the word that is closest in meaning to imperatives in line 9 is. So you go to see how the word was used. So to come here, line 9. For the most part, economic imperatives have left women no choice. So imperatives, the thing about something is like very commanding. So the option here will be B, which is demands. So for the most part, economic demands have left women no choice. All right. Number 45, in paragraph 2, lines 6 to 12, the writer compares income in the 1950s to income today to show that. So why do we compare that? So that will be here in paragraph 2. So the answer will be option D, that a single income cannot adequately support an average family, right? You see that if you read, for the most part, economic imperatives have left women no choice but to work for money. An income sufficient to maintain the lifestyle of an average family took one Canadian 48 hours a week to earn in the 1950s. It takes two people 65 to 75 hours to earn that income today, right? So that's definitely showing us that a single income can adequately support an average family. All right, nice. Going up to number 46. So it says, the writer suggests in lines 12 to 15 that tensions in mother-child relationships can occur because mothers are dealing with the stress of work, are unable to help children who are under stress, or lack sufficient time to care for children. So 12 to 15, we have, right, from here to this line here. So you can read, it takes two people 65 to 75 hours a week to earn that income today. The conflicts between work and family life and scarcity of time to devote to children have taken a personal toll on women in the form of stress and depression. Obviously, individuals under stress are harder to deal with than those who are not. So the tensions of work are carried over into tensions in mother-child relationships, right? So for 46, we would have option C, right? Only the first and third one are dealing with stress of work. So we definitely saw that in terms of stress and lack of sufficient time to care for children, right? So we definitely did not have any unable to help children who are under stress, just 1 and 3. So C was our answer. So good. Number 47, the writer's main purpose is to. So what is this writer's main purpose? To focus on the problems experienced by men, to reveal the problems experienced by men, women, and children, to highlight some of the internal problems in the family, or to show this, that single income families function better than two income families. Our answer here will be option C, because based on the information we have, we're seeing that we are definitely highlighting some of the internal problems threatening the family. Number 48, couples feel they must go to their separate ways, line 23, because of. Is it because of high divorce rates, inability to live harmoniously, difficulty with Western societies, or changes in relations in good times? So 48, our answer here will be B, right? We have an inability to live harmoniously. When you go to line 23, you can see that where it says, the fact that so many couples feel they must go their separate ways illustrates just how difficult it is for people to live together satisfactorily, right? So that's giving you that there for your option B. And last one for this passage, number 49, the tone of the passage may be best described as, is it mocking, indignant, analytical, or complaining, all right? So the tone in which the passage giving us the information would definitely be option C, which is analytical. All right, because you can see that based on the information he's examining, right, or explaining the particular issues there. So we have analytical. He's not mocking anything, he's not being indignant, and he's not complaining, but analyzing, explaining, giving us the information. All right. So next we have an advertisement. So you pause, read, get your answers, and we correct. All right, so number 50, the advertisement was most likely taken from A. So of course we know, based on the information, they're offering tours, right? That'll definitely come from a tourism brochure, all right? Number 51, which of the following is nearest in meaning to off the beaten track, which is in line 1? So let's see where we see that. That's our first sentence. The tours we offer are truly unique and very much off the beaten track. So it's off the beaten track, so that's giving us option D, which is it's along routes not regularly traversed. All right. Going down to number 52, which of the following does the advertisement promise? Scenic beauty, sedate enjoyment, outdoor activity. We definitely got all three of these, so our answer will be D, right? When we look at the advertisement, it talks about the scenic views that we could have, things that we could enjoy, and also that they have outdoor activities, adventures that we can do. Number 53, the phrase, the neat sugarcane fields sweep down the rolling hills, which is in line 5, contains an example of. So what like literary device there. So line 5, that's right here. The neat sugarcane fields sweep down the rolling hills towards the wild east coast where miles of untouched beaches are graced with a backdrop of rugged cliffs, etc. So you're just looking at this part here, right? So that's definitely nothing being repeated. No metaphor there, one thing is another thing, no, and no specific reference. So you have A, you have contrast, right? Contrasting the sugarcane fields to the rolling hills. The neat sugarcane fields, right, is being contrasted with the rolling hills. And last question for this advertisement, number 54. This advertisement seeks to persuade the reader mainly through the use of. So we may have some other things going on, but what's the main thing it's truly persuading us with will be option A, imagery, right? It's giving us all that image and scenery of what we can expect. All right, so our last comprehension here, we have an advertisement. So pause, go through, and then we'll correct. All right, so number 55, one fact, right? So key thing, what is a fact here that's contained in the advertisement? So you have the price of the product, the expert approval of Acne Be Gone, the product's popularity and effectiveness, the stores everywhere are selling the product. So our fact here will be option E, which is the price of the products. That's a fact that we definitely have, right? As like opinions and things that are not there. So option A is your answer. Number 56, to whom is the product mainly targeted? So people who suffer with acne, ambitious people with money, girls who want dates for graduation, people who lack confidence because of their appearance. So our answer will definitely be option E, right? Because that's the product we are selling, right? For persons who suffer with acne. So good. Number 57, which of the following techniques are used to persuade in this advertisement? Financial enticement, showing of the container, appeal to fears and desires, right? So all three of these are there. So your answer will be D. So financial enticement, we see all the crossing out of the prices there. So it's $9.99, right? Showing of the container, we definitely have that. You're seeing the product there, and appeal to fears and desires. So we have that here, like, do you want to clear all unsightly blemishes? Do you want your confidence back, right? Do you want a date for graduation? So you're definitely appealing to person's fears and desires. So all three are there. All right. Number 58, a language device used in the advertisement to persuade is. So a paradox, metaphor, hyperbole, and rhetorical question. So definitely our answer will be option D, right? A lot of rhetorical questions. So you can see like here, do you want to clear all unsightly blemishes? Do you want a date for graduation? You can do all these things with, well, that's not the question there, but these are your rhetorical questions, right? 59, what might be the purpose of the size of the font used to describe the side effects, right? So that's what we have it there at the bottom. Side effects include swelling and rashes. Consult your doctor. So we see it's a smaller size, right? So what might be the purpose of this? Is it to hide possible consequences of using the product? It suggests that the side effects are minor. It misdirects the reader and leads to erroneous conclusions about acne. It demonstrates that the problems are minor in comparison to benefits. You have option B, that it suggests that the side effects are minor. All right. And last question, number 60, the words while stocks last under the check price most likely would have the effect of. So what would this here have an effect of? While stocks last, enticing the customers to save money, persuading customers to buy the product quickly, prompting Caribbean people to go in search of the product, or fooling the prospective buyers into thinking he or she needs the product. The answer here will be D, right? We want to say while stocks last because we want to fool the prospective buyers into thinking that they need the product, so they'll come and get it.